Long range, led by Sears, as Alabama runs it well past 100, 113, your most points in a tourney game since the 2008 North Carolina Tar Heels. Our guys called this a race to 100. Well, in that case, game was over at the 6-minute mark. All right, let's dive in. Adam Finkelstein, Joe Musso. We got Tim Doyle, Hunter Dickinson also weighing in. Fellas, this was about as modern as you can get in a game in terms of attempts, in terms of makes. This was a three-point barrage. I'm going straight to you here first. When a team has it going the way that Alabama does on this night, you're on the opposite side of that. What does that do for the psyche? Yeah,
there's not much you can do. I mean, you know, when you attempt or when you make less threes than another team attempts, and that's their strength, it's going to be a long night for the other team. And it felt like BYU was just treading water all game. Bama started out hot, and it was really the Mark Sears show. I mean, you know, 10 made threes in a game. I mean, you know, when he's hitting like that, Alabama's going to be a really tough team to beat.
Tim, this got the berth between these two teams got large in the end of this game, but it was tight. There were runs made throughout this game by BYU. That three-point shot was the run stopper. When you have that confidence in the three ball, what's that do for a team on a night like this?
I mean, this is one of those games, and you know, you and I have played in them, where you walk across at the end of the game, you extend your right hand, and you say, wow, that was an awesome game. Congratulations. I mean, that's how awesome BYU was. You know, when you were talking about the runs there in the second half, Joe, great job by our team there drawing up this graphic. It wasn't just Sears. Adam, it was Holloway. He made some tough ones. He had a couple step-back ones. It got to 7, and we're all sitting there maybe hoping, rooting for this game to be a little bit more competitive. All of us up here on the desk had BYU keeping this game close, maybe even winning this game. I know I'm guilty of it, but what a tremendous shooting performance. Mark Sears, Adam, points per game were down 3 points per game. Shooting was down 11% last year to this year from three-point range. A simply spectacular performance by the team and Sears.
Guys, here's the thing. When Alabama shoots the ball like this and Mark Sears plays like this, they are winning every single night. This is how Nate Oates envisions things offensively. One of the things we talked about in the pregame is that this is not, by the numbers, as good of a shooting Alabama team this year. Now, they're still taking the amount of threes. About half their shots are threes, but they're not converting them at the same rate that previous years' teams did. This game, obviously, that was totally different. 24 from 50 from behind the three-point line. I think the other point here, 3 different players made at least 5 threes. So if you're BYU, you can't say, okay, just run them off the line. What do you do when every guard on the floor has made 5 threes? You really have to pick your poison, which is why Hunter said to his credit, like, there's not much you can do. When everybody's on a heater on the same night, Tim, tip your hat. Nice game. Okay, see you next year. Back to the portal.
We did have a late one here for 25. Again, a tournament record. Sears setting some records of his own. The first player since 1985 with 30-plus points and 7-plus assists. As you said, TD, it wasn't a one-man show here. It was the entire group. I do want to pose that statement as a question to you guys. Is there another team remaining that can shoot it like this if you got to match Bama from long range?
Well, I don't think there's, you know, many teams that can score 113 points in a college game, and I think it's just, you know, goes to show you why Alabama is one of the best teams in the country and why they were so highly rated to start the year, and then in the tournament why, you know, they're such a dangerous team is because, you know, they can go off for 113 points in any given night. And so this will be a tough test, you know, for whoever they have to play next to really try to guard that three-point line and really start with Mark Sears trying to limit how many threes he takes.
I'm also looking at 27 assists, TD. How'd you like how the ball moved leading to those threes?
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to have assists when you're shooting the ball. I mean, they were plus 57 in the game from the three-point line. I mean, that's like impossible to wrap your head around. What I find interesting, this is why I don't think Alabama is going to win the national championship. BYU was 6 for 30. You know what that percentage is? Not good. All right, it's 20%. If they were, let's just say, 15 for 30 and they had a great shooting night, well, then they win this game going away.
Yeah.
They missed their shots. Alabama made their shots. And the way the game is played now, some people up on the desk don't love all the three-point shooting. I'm not going to name names, just going to point, okay? Do you think this tournament's going to come down to teams that make shots versus teams that don't make shots, or it's still a matter of the best team's going to win?
I think in this tournament you got a lot of different playing styles. Like you got a team like Houston who is going to try to beat you physically and try to beat you defensively. And then you have teams like Alabama and BYU who are going to try to beat you from the three-point range. And then I think you got teams like Auburn and Florida that can do both, where they can beat you in multiple different ways. I think that's why this tournament's so unique, and why, I mean, obviously I have Florida winning it all, but there can be a lot of different scenarios on who wins it all, just depending on any given night.
Tim, I think that's it right there. It's the teams who can win in different ways. And Danny Hurley's talked about this the last 2 years. When you have to win 6 games in a row, you have to be able to win different ways over the course of those things. Alabama is one of the teams that can do it. Florida, ironically, I think we all picked Florida. That was the reason why I picked Florida. They can beat you with the front court. They can beat you with the back court. They can beat you with their pace. They can beat you different ways. Alabama, when the shots are going in, they're going to beat anybody. The question is, when they don't shoot it like this, how do they react against other top 10 teams in the country?
Did you see enough shift in pace to feel good about Bama? Obviously, you feel good coming off the shooting performance, but this wasn't end-to-end action for the full 40. They did have to downshift there coming out of the break. Did you like what you saw in those moments where they were tested?
They lead the country in tempo, so they're going to play fast no matter what. And I think it's imperative this year because, remember, this sounds counterintuitive right now. This is, by the numbers, not as good of an Alabama shooting team on the season as they have been in past years. And the pace helps to create more space when they're playing with 2 bigs instead of 1, which is how Nate Oates typically plays.
The most important number moving forward is 8. They are on to the Elite 8 after this Sweet 16 victory, where they will play the winner of Arizona and Duke. A historic night shooting for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Gentlemen, thank you as we take a look at not just history. They didn't just clear that 21. They didn't just match that 20. 25 made threes. The most three-point field goals made in an NCAA tournament game. You just saw history, ladies and gentlemen. 75 points off threes alone. More reaction coming on CBS Sports HQ. Straight ahead, Matt Norlander was in the building for all that history. He joins us next on HQ. swing and think of your best excuse. Thursday, a national holiday by those who live by the balls and strikes. Opening day in the Bigs means hope for all. Opening day in the Bronx. In 2024 unanimous AL MVP Aaron Judge leading the American League pennant winners into their opener. Austin Wells, the first Yankee catcher ever to lead off on opening day, getting comfy. Wells, third pitch of the season, sneaks one over the short porch, 348 feet, a home run there and nowhere else. Yankees out in front 1-0 in a hurry. A whole lot of history in that one. First catcher with a leadoff home run on opening day in big league history. First leadoff home run on opening day in Yankee history. Bottom two, same score. Volpe going that way as well. Takes the high fastball the other way in his first of the season. Only 12 a year ago. Yankees off to the 2-0 start. Top three, Vinny Capra leading off. Taking Carlos Rodon up and out to left. Brewers cut that lead in half. Capra's first career home run. Coming off a hot spring, had 6 long balls. Rodon no longer clean-shaven, such as the Yankee ways these days. Covering his bag as he stumbles over first, and a scary scene there, sort of stuck his foot into the bag. And we know that he's getting that opening day start due to Garrett Cole's inavailability for the remainder of this season. Would remain in the game and would fall right into a groove. Capra swinging, Bryce Turang got it, Jackson Chourio smell ya. Rodon strikes out the side, fans 7 over 5 1/3. The Judge still looking for his first verdict of the season, and there it is off the bag, gets the bounce. Gonna play Ben Rice. An RBI double for Judge. Yankees out in front 3-1. Now to the 9th. A 4-1 Yankee advantage. They bring in their new closer, the bearded former Brewer, Devin Williams. After back-to-back hits and a walk to start his Yankee debut, Bryce Turang going to be a sac fly to left center. Brewers cut it to 4-2. Next batter, tying run now on second, full count. Starting to get the stuff working. Chourio, a day to forget. 0 for 5, 5 Ks. Yikes. Next batter, Christian Yelich, the last gasp. And they come up empty. Williams gets out of the jam. Yankees win it 4-2. Game 2 coming your way Saturday afternoon. That's a former Yankee, Nestor Cortez, taking the mound for the Brew Crew.
Juan Soto officially making his debut as a New York Met. The $765 million man looking to start his season off strong, making $140,000 per day. That's what his deal pays him. On the road against the Astros, first AB and his first hit with the Mets. Welcome to the ball club. Now hit some home runs. Later in the inning, runners on second and third, 2 outs for Brandon Nimmo. Into left, Jose Altuve, Jake Myers coming on. Altuve makes the catch, making his first start left after a rough spring training in the outfield. Bottom 3, 2-0 Houston, and make it 3-0 because Luis Angel Acuna, bad throw. He made the team in place of the injured Jeff McNeil. Francisco Lindor said on the record that Acuna played, quote, bored during spring training, off to a tough start. Framber Valdez going strong through 5 here in the 6th. That's in. He wanted it. Yeah, that was a ball. The at-bat goes on. Next pitch to Mark Vientos. And Valdez wins this battle. Double play to end the inning. After the inning, Valdez and Andy Fletcher. Hey, where was that pitch? Yeah, it was a little in. Okay, we're all good. Top 7, runner on first, 2 outs. Valdez facing Acuna, looking for some redemption. 3! That would end his outing. 7 scoreless, scatters 4 hits, 4 strikeouts. Mets generate some traffic in the 8th. Bases loaded, 2 out. Big spot for Brandon Nimmo. Can you deliver? No. Flies out to center. Mets strand the bases loaded. Mets rally in the 9th, and look who's coming up. Down 3-1, runners on the corners, 2 outs. Juan Soto, can you be a hero? Nope. Josh Hader gets him. Astros hang on 3-1. Soto in his first game with the Mets, 1 for 3, 2 walks, and the strikeout. Here's Soto on his first game with New York.
You always are, and you were the whole game. Is there any element to that when you're up that you badly want to do something in that spot?
We all want to do something in a big spot, you know. We all trying to get the knock and try to bring the runs in and try to help the team either way. But for me, I don't mind taking a walk right there. You know, it's Pete behind me, and he's really good power hitter, so I think we have a better chance right there. Lefty-righty matchup. He just got me in that situation. For us, I was expecting to win the game, but definitely it's not how we want it. Sometimes the game, you know, they are a really good team over there, and they come in and grind. For me, it's a good experience. These guys are amazing. We've been having a good time since spring training, so we just got to bring that all the way.
Plenty of ball left to play. Mets were 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position, 10 left on base. You don't want to be striking out to end the game, but sometimes it happens. That's baseball, Susan. This is the old team. The Mets with back-to-back losses in season openers for the first time since '99 and 2000, but that's also not a bad thing. They went to the NLCS in '99, and they reached the World Series in 2000, perhaps a sign of things to come.
Started on a one line, move on over Florida, taking control in the final 6 minutes of this ball game. Will Richard from 3, all but putting this one out of reach. 87-71, the Gators are moving on. Another 30-plus win season on to 33 and counting for Florida, who looks to be every bit of a national champion as they once again walk by a formidable opponent here in the Maryland Terrapins. The Crab 5 season put to an end, and all the question marks that now come with it pertaining to their head coach. But Florida was out there, big man for a moment in this one. Alex Condon missed some time due to an ankle, did come back in, but the depth on display for the Gators. Back in studio with the fellas. TD, talk to me about that depth, because I'm looking at bench points forced into this situation, but 26-0 in favor of the Gators. Sort of took that loss right in stride.
A big fella called it before the game, because we were kind of breaking down like big guys and guards, maybe a little bit of an edge to Florida. And then you were like, no. This game is going to be decided with the bench play, and Florida's team is much deeper.
Absolutely. I mean, when you have 6 guys score double figures for Florida, we said it was going to be depth first, Maryland starting 5, and when you only play 5 guys, your margin for error is, really thin. And we saw that today. I mean, Florida's depth just overpowered Maryland's crab 5.
Hunter, when a player as important as Alex Condon goes down for the time that he did, for this team to have really taken that in stride, we know there's depth there, but the way the ball moves changes a little bit, the way they play it on that end of the court changes a little bit, what they can do defensively changes a little bit. How impressed were you with the way they did take that in stride?
Yeah, absolutely. When a player goes down, you can't mirror that player with another guy, but like Adam said in the pregame, they got 4 starting caliber big men, and so it's kind of like when one goes down, one, fills his shoes and is able to come in and give them great minutes, which they did all game.
I know we were looking at 100+, 110+ out of Alabama, 87 points. Nothing to scoff at here on the offensive end for this Florida team. What jumped off the box score at you?
I think it was just the fact that there were 6 players in double figures, and even when Condon goes down, there's no drop-off, there's no slippage. To me, guys, this goes back to a style of play decision that Todd Golden made when he took this job. Remember, he previously coached at San Francisco, and one of the things he talked about is how he learned from competing against Mark Few. Mark Few plays with 2 bigs all the time. He said it gives his teams a high floor because you always rebound, you always get extra possessions, you win that game. But when you have a special team like they do this year, then you have a high ceiling as well. So you kind of protect against those down years and give yourself a chance to really make a run when you have a good year, and make no mistake about it, this is a good year.
Yeah, how about those bigs? Florida won the rebounding battle 42-20, 38 points in the paint. Plus 15 from three-point range. Hall was great. Aberdeen both come off the bench. They combined for 25 points. Maryland had a great year. Queen's an amazing talent. I can't wait to see what he's going to do at the next level. He actually developed a lot faster than I anticipated when I saw him in high school. I was like, he's going to be a great college player, but not really sure about the pros.
Tried to tell you.
Yeah, he's been able to put the ball on the floor. He shot the 3. He still had 27 points in this game against, what we all think is going to be the national championship. So what a tremendous talent. I just wonder. A lot of rumors going around that this coach is going bye-bye. Kevin Willard. Supposedly missed the team dinner. You think that could have affected the guys in some ways?
I mean, it's a known thing, but I think, in this era with the NIL and stuff like that, players are getting paid. They're not really too worried about that kind of stuff. I think, Maryland, from what I've heard I know a couple of guys on the team, it was a tight-knit locker room in there, and I think they were all locked in on the game. I think that's more kind of media just blowing stuff out of proportion. I think Coach Willard and this, the team was locked in for the game, but they just ran into, what I think will be the national champions.
Yeah, Kevin Willard, publicly linked to Villanova. We'll have any news on that moving forward. Surely news does move fast these days in the college ranks. You also have an athletic director leaving for SMU.
Yeah, they don't have an AD.
You have a star that's maybe leaving for the next level.
Yeah, can I give him some
Coach
advice? Run,
calling
Kevin,
for NIL.
Run for the hills.
If that is the case, how do you see the future for both Willard and this Maryland program that maybe outperformed expectation this season?
Well, let me say this. Whether he chooses Maryland or Villanova, whoever he doesn't choose has a real problem here. Because the portal opened Monday. We've already seen a couple of really important commitments. You got St. John's who got one. You have Creighton who got one. And Villanova's waiting. Everybody else has made a hire. They're already recruiting.
They're waiting for this guy.
They are waiting for this guy. And if they don't get him, what is the contingency plan? Because apparently he doesn't have any time frame here. They're letting him dictate the tempo of this hiring decision, and they are risk being left behind. Conversely, if he leaves Maryland, they don't have an AD. What is their contingency plan? So wherever Kevin Willard does not end up, that place has got a very real problem.
Well, he blasted them, Joe, from the NIL perspective. I wanted to stay another day in New York. We don't have the budget for it. What type of team? I need this. I need that. Like, that was a really public statement aimed directly at Maryland, but also kind of boost whatever move he makes of, hey, you want me to take this job? This is what I need. I need a budget of this. I need that. I'm from the school of, if you're a coach and you've maxed out your time and or your NIL and or your run, and you have another opportunity, like, you got to get out before they get you.
Like he did when he left Seton Hall for Maryland.
I think this is a perfect situation. If he doesn't take the job, Chris Collins, who coaches at Northwestern, please don't leave Chris, but he's supposedly a hot name, and maybe they're just waiting for this Willard piece to fall. When Condon checked out of the game, Maryland's antennas went up, and they got back into it, but Florida was just simply too much. All of us up here, we're smart guys, Joe. All of us have Florida winning, okay?
Yeah.
So what do we know? We also had BYU winning.
I was just going to say, we all had BYU, too.
You can't go from 100% every time.
Fink, final word here. I do want to get your point of view on this. Did you sense a team that was on a different page than their head coach tonight in this loss for Maryland?
No, I'm with Hunter here, and I'm going to use the McNeese example too. With Will Wade, everybody was saying like, oh, this is a distraction. They're not on the same page. Baloney. It just means players and coaches are all on the same page. Hunter can speak to this better than I can, but you're all working for your next paycheck. If your coach is doing the same thing, then at least you're all aligned.
It was Maryland's first loss by more than 6 points this season, and it was by 16, which also matches Florida's largest tournament victory, Sweet 16 round or later. The cream, fellas, it's rising to the top. We have another on to the Elite Eight in the Florida Gators. We'll look at your winning streaks in Sweet 16 games. It's one thing to get there. It's another to show up and show out. Florida does so again. Now 9 in a row in this round as the table's favorite plays on. More HQ on the way. Straight ahead, we got full highlights from your early action here on Thursday night. Florida and Bama both moving on. Back on HQ and back to Bama. 25 made threes, a tournament record, led by Mark Sears and his 10 made threes. You could have taken away all the twos, just free throws and three-pointers, and Bama still scores 93. Here's the head coach postgame.
That was a fun game. If you like offense, that was fun for the fans, I'm sure, at least for the Alabama fans. And listen, I got to teach these guys some math occasionally. I told Sears there's a thing called regression to the mean. His last 6 games, he was shooting 14%, 5 of 35. He's not a 14% shooter, obviously. They had been going under ball screens on just about every game we watched. I told both those guys, Holloway and seriously, man, I hope they go under us, because we're going to rain them. So we were in the gym last night, the night before. But, these guys show up for voluntary shooting every time it's available to make sure that they're ready to go, and that work pays off. We want to base our program on hard work. So told Mark he's playing chess, not checkers. He just kind of set everybody up with that 5 of 35, thinking he was in a slump and he's going to come out, shoot like 63%, ain't bad. So 10 threes, I think first guy in NCAA tournament history, I was told, that had at least 8 threes and 7 assists. So, not only was he scoring it, he was moving it. Helps to get assists when you got guys like CY and Aiden Holloway making shots like they did too. So between these 3 guys, we had 21 threes. It's, we've hit 22 before a couple times, I think maybe 23. We've never hit 25. So, and BYU, with their personnel, we knew that they started going under, but they always collapse. I mean, they kind of have to, and they kind of got away with it against some teams that don't space like we do. But I told these guys going in, if you'll move the ball, we end up with 27 assists. I'm not sure where that ranks in tournament history, but if you'll move the ball, our offense is designed to beat a defense like this. So they're heavy in the gaps, they overhelp, and we did. So now they're a really good offensive team too. Everybody questioned whether we had defense to win. For some reason, nobody was talking about our offense though. Like, I've gotten to know Mike D'Antoni a little bit. He made the point, like, your offense only has to be, one point in the efficiency better than your defense to win the game. Now, we're trying to get stops, and I thought we did a pretty good job. They went on a run. I remember Sears got a steal. When they started to make a run there in the second half, it's a big play. We got a bunch of old boards. Our second chance points, I thought we hit some threes off that. We gave them too many second chance, but we did hit some threes off it. So, it was good. We were able to rest some guy. Our top minute guy was Sears with just over 30, and then, nobody else. CY and Grant, 27 and 25. So, whoever we play, we were able to get these guys a little bit more rest than normal. So, proud of our guys. We're in the Elite 8 for the 3rd time in school history and back-to-back. So, Sears has been in the middle of it. These 2 guys came to play with them, and they're unbelievable backcourt together. I thought LeBaron did a good job, moving the ball tonight, too. He went 2 or 3 himself. He ended up with 6 assists. So, I thought everybody played well in their roles tonight.
Start with questions for the student athletes. Raise your hand, we'll get a microphone, give name and affiliation before asking your question. We'll start here in the front row. On this side.
Jackson Shanks, Seton Hall Center for Sport Media. Aiden, we talked yesterday about how you've matured through the tournament. Last year with Auburn, a first-round exit. This year, you hadn't really had the game that put you on the map. And today, whenever Mark went out in that second half, it almost like it lit a fire under you, and you were able to answer each BYU 3 with your own. What about tonight made you so successful and allowed you to perform at that level?
My teammates just found me, honestly. That's all I'll say about that. It was just a good game. My teammates found me. And I just tried to not focus on shot making and focus on everything else, and shot making ended up, working out a little bit. So just shout out to my teammates for finding me all game.
We're going to come to this side in row 2.
Mark Cannizzaro from the New York Post. This is for Mark. Did you feel, is it possible to feel a game like this coming for you? And what is the feeling like when they're just going down like that?
Honest, like Coach said, we've been working all week to prepare for to get our shot right, and it just the matter of preparation we put in, it led to the success we had tonight.
We're going to come to the front row in the middle.
Mark, or for any of the guys, but we'll start with Mark since you had the biggest night. When Coach says, "Hey, regression to the mean," hey, they're playing you, how much do you believe it? How much do you expect it, I guess, is the better word.
Yeah, even though when I was shooting 14%, my confidence was still high. I never stopped doubting myself and stopped believing in myself. And my teammates also, they kept encouraging me to keep shooting and keep shooting and keep shooting. And that's just show trust in them that even though when I'm not at my highest peak, they still trust me and want me to shoot the ball. So, it's a big shout out to them. And, just they went under the ball screen, and I was able to get my rhythm early.
Chris, you also want to answer that question?
To be honest with you, before y'all talking about 14%, I had no idea who was shooting 14% because I never really paid attention to it. Mark's an incredible player, so all I know is when he gets the ball, the defense is collapsing on him, so it don't even feel like he's shooting 14%. But regardless if he is or not, his gravity that he has on defense is something I never played with before. So yeah, you don't really realize he's shooting 14%.
Next two questions are right in front of me, row 3.
Thanks. Guys, congratulations. Drew Wolin with NBA Draft Net. So I checked, this question's for anybody. I checked the stat sheet at halftime. 80% of field goal attempts were from 3. You guys slowed down a little bit in the second half. You finished the game, 77% of your field goal attempts were from 3. I went through your schedule, usually you're about a little less than half. Sometimes you go over half, like a couple more shots. What went into that tonight where 77% of your field goal attempts were coming from 3?
Why don't we start with Aiden and then we'll go to Chris.
I would say just for these two guys next to me, an open 3 is kind of a layup. So we're happy with 77% of our shots coming from 3 today. So.
Like Coach said to start off, the way they play defense, they're in the gaps heavy, and then if we have proper spacing, and if we don't take one dribble too much, or we're playing selfish, ready to move the ball, we're capable of having 80%, 77% percentage of our shots being 3s. So that's pretty simple.
Stay in that same row.
Matt Norlander, CBS Sports. Mark, this is for you, right here in front of you. I want to dig a little bit deeper. You made 10 three-pointers tonight. That's one shy of the NCAA tournament record. Could you just take us into what it feels like to play that well against a team that good on a stage this big? Are you physically conscious of what is happening as it continues to progress? Because it looked like you were in a zone and knew they were there for the killing.
Yeah, like you said, I was just in the zone. Once I seen the first 3 fall in, I felt like the basket was like as big as an ocean. Every time I shot, I felt like it was going in. So yeah, I just lost myself in the game and just let everything else happen.
All right, we'll go one row back in row 4.
Hi, Garrett Lash with Mid-Major Madness. This one's for Chris. Chris, obviously, you got a great coach up here with you. You played 4 years before that under Coach Amir Abdur-Rahim, obviously. I know this might be an emotional question, but what did he do to prepare you for this season, for this moment? Do you think about him when you're out there playing?
Probably the most important thing that I think about probably every practice, every game is, playing selfless. Not really, because, but previous 4 years, I was the main guy. So, I got talented players like Biz and Mark beside me. So really just being an ultimate team player, just not really worried about myself, playing within the flow of the game and just, losing yourself within the game, within the team. I might end up with 19 points, might end up with 5 points, but, as long as you get a win, I'm considered a winner.
We'll take one more question for the student athletes.
Everybody pouring it in for the Alabama Crimson Tide in this game, led by Sears. 25 made threes as a team. Nate Oates imploring his team to let that thing fly. They did just that in this game, and they play on to the Elite Eight. Highlights on the way next from BYU Bama. A shooting night not to be forgotten. Sears, the headline. We'll show you how many next.
2, 1, let's go.
Ashley, did you know We Need to Talk is going into its 10th season, and we are bringing a digital show every single week.
So we're going to highlight women in sports, whether you're playing, whether you're commentating, whether you're working behind the scenes. I'm looking forward to us having the platform to lead the charge in that.
I'm so excited to talk with you every single week on We Need to Talk now.
Because everyone's in for a treat. It's going to be fun.
Get ready.
Wait a second. I thought we were going tubing.
All 3 Sonic the Hedgehog movies and Knuckles are now streaming on Paramount Plus.
And everyone loves it.
Every adventure.
Just try to keep up.
Every face-off.
This ends now.
And every moment that will have you saying,
Where have you been? My entire life!
It's showtime!
All 3 Sonic the Hedgehog movies and the entire Sonic universe are now streaming on Paramount Plus.
When you need your sports news all the time,
we've got breaking news to bring to you.
CBS Sports HQ gives you a snapshot of all the sports that matter to you.
Big news coming out of the NFL. A lot of movement in the rankings this week.
With highlights.
What a finish at the final round of play.
And in-depth analysis.
Can they three-peat? Tony Romo joins the conversation.
What can you say about this game?
When you need your sports in a snap,
we're bringing you that breaking news right here on HQ.
Find it on CBS Sports HQ. Streaming free anywhere you are.
BYU and Alabama all went up on CBS. 2-seed Bama seeking back-to-back Elite 8 appearances for the first time in school history. They wouldn't have much trouble thanks to a record-setting night from Mark Sears. Early first half. Oh, you got a Sears counter, so you know it's real. First of many for the consensus first-team All-American. 2 minutes later, kick out to Sears. Walks into another. Few possessions later, Sears size him up, knock it down. His third of the game. 8 to go in the first half now. Grant Nelson passes back to Sears. Simple formula tonight. You want an assist? Get it to Sears. Under 6 to go in the first half. Sears beyond the arc. Bang. Bama up 9. Went into the break up 11. Last 5 games, Sears, just 3 made threes. First half against BYU, 5 of 7. Bama made 12 threes in the first half. BYU just 1 of 13 from long range. More long range, number 6 for Sears. Minute later, in transition, Aiden Holloway, the leave behind the back, no look. Sears. Bama up 17. Number 7 for Sears. We're starting to look for bits of history. 11 the tournament record for a single player. Under 9 to go, Sears still going. This time, foot on the logo, got it. 8 threes for Sears. Are you not entertained? Man in the arena not finished. A 9th 3 for Sears, most ever in a tourney game by an SEC player. Alabama with that 3 sets the tournament record for 3 points made in a game by a team with 22. Guess what? Not done. Under 7. Sears! Make it an even 10. Bama's 25th made 3 of the game. They go on to win this one 113-88 thanks to the 3 ball. Thanks to Sears. 10 made threes, just 1 shy of tying that tourney record. Finished with 34. That a career high for Sears. In a massive moment, he has a massive night. Checked out with 4 minutes to play. Could have chased some of that history, but they got bigger fish to fry. That includes an Elite 8 matchup as Alabama. The Tide, it rolls on.
Well, Coach, congratulations. This was an historic night on so many fronts for this program. You're seeing the hard work and the consistency and the success of your program pay off. I know you're not satisfied yet, though, but what do you take away from this one?
I mean, listen, Mark, everybody's saying he's struggling. He's 5 of 35 in 6 games. I told him he's playing chess. He just set everybody up. They're going to go under every screen. How many threes did he end up with tonight?
8 made threes. How did he have time for the 7 assists when he was making all those threes? Oh, 10. 10 was the total, actually.
He had 10 assists?
Yeah, no, 10 made threes and 7 assists.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, well, he had some other guys making some threes. We made 15, so he can still shoot, I assure everybody, and he set everybody up for that display. But the way we shot it tonight, I mean, you know, obviously we're not going to shoot like that all the time. We got lock in on defense. We had too many defensive screw-ups. We got to be better against Duke. But we try to get a lot of threes off. When you get 51 off, you know, liable to make a few. So great job by our guys. They came ready to go, so super proud of them.
So you did save some makes for Saturday?
I sure hope so. We're going to need them because whether it's Duke or whether it's Arizona, like they're both really good. So we're going to need a few threes on Saturday.
Thank you, Coach. Let's get Mark over here. You had to be out of body at some point when you were making all those threes. Like, how did it feel internally? Because watching, we were just mind blown.
Oh, yeah, over the last few games, I've been struggling from three, and I knew this was the perfect example to go out there and let a couple go in, especially how they were playing us in the first half.
We know Coach never stopped coaching you guys, no matter how big the lead was. What was he on you about, and why is that part of him? What's going to make you special in this tournament run?
Oh, yeah, they were such an explosive offense, and he was preaching that they could score 20 points in a matter of 3 minutes, and we just didn't want to let that happen, so we was able to get some stops.
Enjoy it. We'll see you on Saturday. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Roll Tide.
Behold the flow state. A player completely unconscious and performing at the highest level. That was Mark Sears on this night. You heard Nate Oates say it. They had 15 threes that didn't come off his hand, so all of Bama letting it fly. 25 in total and a new turning record. Maryland and Florida both trying to be elite. Maryland here thanks to the late game heroics of that man. Derek Queen's buzzer beater to sneak by Colorado State. Terps trying to reach their first Elite Eight since 2002 when they won the whole thing. Taking on a top seed in Florida. Haven't been to the Elite Eight since 2017, early first half. In transition, some worry here for the Gators. After the play, you see Alex Condon coming up limping. Off to the locker room, got checked out. Would remain out for the remainder of the first half. And Saw him trying to work things out there on the bike. So Florida got to go without him. Walter Clayton Jr. on the bounce. Lays it in. Gators by 5. Late first half. In transition. Long outlet. Clayton full court to Will Richard. Easy lay. Gators up 1. What a pass from Clayton. Under a minute left in the half. Off the Maryland turnover. Going the other way again. Gators in transition. Clayton feeds Richard. He rolls it home. Florida goes in the locker room up just 2. Richard and Clayton combined for 24 of Florida's 40 in the first half. Early second half, now a 7-point game. Derek Queen drives and lays it home. 2 of his 27 makes it a 5-point game. Next Maryland possession. Julian Reese drops the midi. Terps down just 3. Maryland trying to stay in this one, and look who it is. Florida gets a boost with 13 to go. Condon checking back in. Minute later, Richard feeds Condon, collects, tips. That's Micah Hanlington tipping it home. Gators up 10. Awareness and hustle there from Condon on the floor. Under 8 minutes left. Shelton Miguel rejected by Condon, suing Florida possession. Denzel Aberdeen drives off glass. Gators by 16, pulling away. Caps an 11-2 run. They can feel it. Under 5 now. Richard off the handoff. Richard! What's happening? Finished with a team-high 15. Angel Reese on hand. Gators win 87-71. 6 players in double figures as Florida advances to the Elite 8 for the first time since 2017. It's their 8th Elite 8 appearance in the last 20 years. It's tied for the most by any team over that span. As for Maryland, they now turn their focus to the status of their head coach, Kevin Willard, who has been linked to the Villanova job.
What would you say is the most gratifying part of having coached this group? And the follow-up would be, what is your future in terms of returning to College Park? Have you made a decision whether or not you'll be back?
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed coaching this basketball team. They from the time they stepped on campus in June, they've just been so much fun to coach, and to kind of see them kind of grow together, have the wins we had on the road, have some of the toughest losses that I've ever dealt with, buzzer beaters, and to overcome that was huge for me. It was one of those things. It was just a whole lot of fun. The staff said it the other day. It was just kind of there's so much fun to be around, and they accomplished a lot. It's in today's world of trying to put together a roster in 3 weeks. These guys all made great strides. And again, the only 2 guys I ever played in an NCAA tournament before was Julian and Jordan. So for those guys to be great leaders, and for us to get to the Sweet 16, I think it shows you how good a group of kids they were. So I have not even. No, I don't know what I'm doing. I'll just be honest with you. I haven't talked to my agent. I haven't talked to my wife. I made a promise to this team that I was gonna just focus on this team, and that's all I've done. So I haven't talked to anybody. I have an agent. I'm sure he's talking to people because that's what agents like to do. But I don't know.
Hi, Kyle Goon, Baltimore Banner. As a follow-up to that, is there something at this juncture you think Maryland can do to bring you back?
Right now, my biggest concerns in life right now, I don't know who my boss is going to be. It's the guy that brought me here, who I really liked and appreciative of him bringing me to College Park, is not here anymore. And I don't know who we're going to hire. And that's, as in today's day and age, that worries me a little bit. I'm just being honest. My honesty got me in trouble. Might as well keep getting me in trouble. So this is going to be a family decision. I love College Park. I love Maryland. But when you're at this point in your career and you're looking at things, I have to take everything into consideration about what's moving forward. But I have not even talked to anybody, so I don't know what I'm doing.
Coach, I just wanted to ask, is the Villanova, presumably, is that an option for you? Like, have they offered you
I have
the
no
position?
idea.
And a follow-up for that, kind of what Kyle said, Has there anything that the new administration and conversations they've had with you that would encourage you?
I'll be honest with you. My guy Brian Ullman deserves a raise because he has been phenomenal. The only person I've talked about my job is with that man over there wearing the muscle hat. He has been absolutely phenomenal. So, but I'm not even sure. I don't know if he's going to be here. You know, so it's just one of those things right now.
Yeah, Coach. Last 20 games, the team has been incredible in the second half, even with the 5 guys who were playing 30 minutes, 35 minutes. And it wasn't like this was a back-to-back game. This was a, 4-day rest or whatever. What happened in that second half? That has not happened in over a month or almost 2 months.
Well, actually, we haven't. We've been getting off to horrendous starts in the second half. Colorado State, we got down 13. We came out at home against Northwestern, didn't play well. We haven't been playing overly well to start the second half, and I think we've talked about it as a group, and we looked at it, and when you play a team that can come off the bench with the guys that they can come off the bench with, that was a big worry. And, we battled, and these guys were battling. I thought the biggest play was the rebound that Condon got and threw it up to the rim. I think it was a 7-point game at the time and pushed it to 9. I just thought that was like a really big momentum breaker. So, but we haven't been starting well for a while. We've been playing well in the second half. We just haven't been starting well, and that start really hurt us.
And the rebound discrepancy, it's just odd after all the games this year.
It's what they do. They're the number 3 offensive rebounding team in the country. They're the largest. They score more points off offensive rebounds than any other team in the country. You have to give them credit. They do a really, really good job at it.
We've got time for 2 more.
Thank you.
Eli Cohn with the Diamondback. Kevin, I know you mentioned, earlier, can't control Twitter, can't control the media, but looking over the past week, do you wish you approached anything differently?
Not at all.
Last question here.
Lindsay Schnell, The Athletic. Kevin, I feel like a lot of times people demand that public figures be honest, and then when they are honest, to your point, sometimes you get in trouble. Today, when you guys left the team hotel, there were some fans that voiced their displeasure. Does that make you think at all about, do you want to be at Maryland?
Not at all. I got my guy. We would not be in the Sweet 16 if it wasn't for Harvey Sanders. Harvey Sanders runs our collective, does all the fundraising, has been instrumental in getting us back to where we are. And Hard gave me the biggest hug. So he matters. I understand fans are going to be pissed because I'm in limbo and this and that. And I get it. Like, I'm kind of pissed, to be honest with you, because I didn't expect to be in this situation. But
Coach, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
The phone calls.
I'd like to take this opportunity to apologize to absolutely nobody. Sort of the vibe there from Coach Willard, who we'll just say his future hangs in the balance. Almost poetically, his phone rings at the end of what could have been his last presser as the Maryland head coach. As for Florida, who plays on, 16 points this far into the tournament, matches their largest margin of victory, Sweet 16 or later. 2006, that was their first of 2 back-to-back national titles.
breaking news to bring to you.
CBS Sports HQ gives you a snapshot of all the sports that matter to you.
Big news coming out of the NFL. A lot of movement in the rankings this week.
With highlights.
What a finish at the final round of play.
And in-depth analysis.
Can they three-peat? Tony Romo joins the conversation.
What can you say about this game?
When you need your sports in a snap.
We're bringing you that breaking news right here on HQ.
Find it on CBS Sports HQ. Streaming free anywhere you are.
Get ready.
Wait a second. I thought we were going tubing.
All 3 Sonic the Hedgehog movies and Knuckles are now streaming on Paramount Plus.
And everyone loves it.
Every adventure,
Just try to keep up.
every face-off,
This ends now.
and every moment that will have you saying,
Where have you been? My entire life!
It's showtime.
all 3 Sonic the Hedgehog movies and the entire Sonic universe are now streaming on Paramount Plus.
We got a finish out of Chicago you simply have to see. Bulls down 115-110 with 10 ticks remaining. Pat Williams makes it a 2-point game. Off the inbounds, LeBron getting lazy, stolen by Josh Giddey. Kobe White for the lead. Chicago thinks they stole one. 116-115, 6 seconds remaining. Timeout LA. They're going crazy at the Madhouse. Ensuing possession off the inbounds, Luka to Austin Reeves. Reeves got a step off glass. It goes. Lakers back in front, 117-116. Bulls, no timeouts. Josh Giddey got a heave. He called game. Giddey from half court. Chicago can't believe it. The heater rolls on. The Bulls now winners in 9 of their last 11. Disbelief by the LA faithful there on hand in Chicago. But what a finish for Chicago, who collects their unbelievable victory here. 46-footer to be exact by Josh Giddey, the longest game-winning buzzer beater in Bulls history. The Bulls in the fourth quarter, 11 of 14 from the floor, scored 19 points in the final 2 minutes and 13 seconds, trailed by 5 with 10 seconds to play, and you are a winner in regulation. Drive home safely, Chicago.
Juan Soto officially making his debut as a New York Met. The $765 million man looking to start his season off strong, making $140,000 per day. That's what his deal pays him. On the road against the Astros, first AB and his first hit with the Mets. Welcome to the ball club. Now hits some home runs. Later in the inning, runners on second and third, 2 outs for Brandon Nimmo. Into left, Jose Altuve, Jake Myers coming on. Altuve makes the catch, making his first start left after a rough spring training in the outfield. Bottom 3, 2-0 Houston, and make it 3-0 because Luis Angel Acuna, bad throw. He made the team in place of the injured Jeff McNeil. Francisco Lindor said on the record that Acuna played, quote, bored during spring training, off to a tough start. Framber Valdez going strong through 5 here in the 6th. That's in. He wanted it. Yeah, that was a ball. The at-bat goes on. Next pitch to Mark Vientos. And Valdez wins this battle. Double play to end the inning. After the inning, Valdez and Andy Fletcher. Hey, where was that pitch? Yeah, it was a little in. Okay, we're all good. Top 7, runner on first, 2 outs. Valdez facing Acuna, looking for some redemption. 3! That would end his outing. 7 scoreless, scatters 4 hits, 4 strikeouts. Mets generate some traffic in the 8th. Bases loaded, 2 out. Big spot for Brandon Nimmo. Can you deliver? No. Flies out to center. Mets strand the bases loaded. Mets rally in the 9th, and look who's coming up. Down 3-1, runners on the corners, 2 outs. Juan Soto, can you be a hero? Nope. Josh Hader gets him. Astros hang on 3-1. Soto in his first game with the Mets, 1 for 3, 2 walks, and the strikeout. Here's Soto on his first game with New York.
As you always are, and you were the whole game. Is there any element to that when you're up that you badly want to do something in that spot?
We all want to do something in a big spot. You know, we all trying to get the nog and try to bring the runs in and try to help the team either way. But for me, I don't mind taking a walk right there. You know, it's Pete behind me, and he's really good power hitter, so I think we have a better chance right there. Lefty-righty matchup. He just got me in that situation. For us, I was expecting to win the game, but definitely it's not how we want it. Sometimes the game, you know, they are a really good team over there, and they come in and grind. For me, it's a good experience. These guys are amazing. We've been having a good time since spring training, so we just got to bring that all the way.
Plenty of ball left to play. Mets were 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position, 10 left on base. You don't want to be striking out to end the game, but sometimes it happens. That's baseball, Susan. This is the old team. The Mets with back-to-back losses in season openers for the first time since '99 and 2000, but that's also not a bad thing. They went to the NLCS in '99, and they reached the World Series in 2000, perhaps a sign of things to come.
Opening round of the Texas Children's Houston Open, numbers 1 and 2 in the world in the field. Final tune-ups for the Masters here. Rory McIlroy at the first, went off the back. Out and one over, trying to get it back here. Comes up just short from long range. McIlroy an even par day, 2 birds, 2 bogeys. As for Scotty, we find him at the 13th from range. There's a bogey-free 67 for Scheffler, who pours in one of his 3 birdies here at 13. Scheffler's 3rd bogey-free round of the season as he looks for win number 1. We got 4 tied at the top following opening round 65s. That's Alejandro Tosti, Ryan Gerard, Keith Mitchell, and Taylor Pendrith. Plenty of golf in front of us. You can find full highlights each and every night here on CBS Sports HQ.
Here are the stories making headlines. The NBA All-Star Game mini tournament will not return in 2026. Commissioner Adam Silver said the tournament, quote, was a miss The All-Star Tournament pitted 3 teams of All-Stars and a team of Rising Stars. Silver said the league is going back to the drawing board ahead of the All-Star Games move from TNT to NBC next season. Penn State edge rusher Abdul Carter will not work out at the Nittany Lions Pro Day on Friday, still recovering from a stress reaction in his right foot that was discovered at the Combine. Our Ryan Wilson has Carter projected 2nd overall to the Cleveland Browns in his latest mock draft on CBSSports.com. 5-star power forward Koa Pete has committed to Arizona. Chose the Wildcats over Arizona State, Baylor, Houston, and Texas. Pete is the number 3 power forward in the class of 2025, ranked number 8 overall, according to our friends at 24/7 Sports. And the Flyers have fired head coach John Tortorella. Spent the past 3 seasons in Philly, failing to make the playoffs in his first 2 seasons. Flyers are on track to miss the playoffs for the 5th consecutive season. Currently in last place in the Metro, sit 10 points out of the final wildcard spot. Assistant Brad Shaw will serve as the interim coach for the rest of the year. Those are your HQ headlines.
Roll out the bunting and think of your best excuse. Thursday, a national holiday by those who live by the balls and strikes. Opening day in the Bigs means hope for all. Opening day in the Bronx. The 2024 unanimous AL MVP Aaron Judge leading the American League pennant winners into their opener. Austin Wells, the first Yankee catcher ever to lead off on opening day, getting comfy. Wells, 3rd pitch of the season, sneaks one over the short porch, 348 feet, a home run there and nowhere else. Yankees out in front 1-0 in a hurry. A lot of history in that one. First catcher with a leadoff home run on opening day in big league history. First leadoff home run on opening day in Yankee history. Bottom 2, same score. Volpe going that way as well. Takes the high fastball the other way in his first of the season. Only 12 a year ago. Yankees off to the 2-0 start. Top 3, Vinny Capra leading off. Taking Carlos Rodon up and out to left. Brewers cut that lead in half. Capra's first career home run. Coming off a hot spring, had 6 long balls. Rodon no longer clean-shaven, such as the Yankee ways these days. Covering his bag as he stumbles over first, and a scary scene there, sort of stuck his foot into the bag. And we know that he's getting that opening day start due to Garrett Cole's inavailability for the remainder of this season. Would remain in the game and would fall right into a groove. Capra swinging, Bryce Turang got it, Jackson Chourio smell ya. Rodon strikes out the side, fans 7 over 5 1/3. The Judge still looking for his first verdict of the season, and there it is, off the bag, gets the bounce. Gonna plate Ben Rice. An RBI double for Judge. Yankees out in front 3-1. Now to the 9th. A 4-1 Yankee advantage. They bring in their new closer, the bearded former Brewer, Devin Williams. After back-to-back hits and a walk to start his Yankee debut, Bryce Turang gonna be a sac fly to left center. Brewers cut it to 4-2. Next batter, tying run now on second, full count. Starting to get the stuff working. Chourio, a day to forget. 0 for 5, 5 Ks. Yikes. Next batter, Christian Yelich, the last gasp. And they come up empty. Williams gets out of the jam. Yankees win it 4-2. Game 2 coming your way Saturday afternoon. That's a former Yankee, Nestor Cortez, taking the mound for the Brew Crew.
Happy opening day from sunny San Diego. Padres and Braves opening up the season against each other. Picking up top 3. Braves down 2-1. Man on 2 outs for Ozzie Albies. And Michael King wants that pitch back. 2-run homer for Albies. Braves take a 3-2 lead. First home run of the season for Atlanta. King allowed 3 runs over 2 2/3. Top 4 tied at 3. We are tied no more. Austin Riley into left. Only hit of the game gives the Braves the lead, 4-3, but it's early. Chris Sale getting the opening day start for Atlanta. Won the Triple Crown, Cy Young in the National League last season. Bottom 5 gets Manny Machado. Next batter, Xander Bogaerts chasing. Sale 5 innings, 3 earned, 7 punch-outs. Bottom 7, Padres still down 4-3. Gavin Sheets pinch hitting and pinch hitting well. That gets out. We're tied at 4 on 1 swing of the bat. His first at bat as a Padre. 4 batters later, 5-4 Padres. Runner on third for Machado. He delivers. That's fair. Fernando Tatis Jr. come on down. RBI double for Machado. 6-4 Padres. Tack on another to go up 7-4 to cap a 4-run inning. Padres bring in Robert Suarez to get the save. Top 9, tying run at the plate. It's Marcell Ozuna. Next batter, Albies. Grounds it out. Padres win it 7-4. Suarez, 36 saves 1 year ago, picks up the save on opening day.
The Giants opening up on the road against the Reds. Top 9 tied at 3, 2 on, 2 outs. Wilmer Flores at the dish, and he's going to be your opening day hero. Blast the go-ahead 3-run jack. Flores' only hit of the game gives San Fran the lead. Caps a full-run inning for the Giants, who go on to win 6-4. The White Sox coming off that record 121 losses last season and didn't change the roster much. Let Pooh play. The beloved Bull, Derrick Rose, painting it. Taking on Mike Trout and the Angels. Trout missed 133 games last season, and come on. A scare in his first AB of the year. Hit in the hand by Sean Burke would stay in the game. Trout finished 0 for 2, bottom of the 8th. Andrew Benintendi, a deep drive to right coming off his own spring hand injury. White Sox up 6-0. Go on to win it 8-1. They finished the day above 500 for the first time since March of 2023.
Tanner Bybee supposed to start opening day for Cleveland. Scratched because he got food poisoning, so Ben Lively making the start against the Royals. Bottom 3-0, scored 2 on, 2 outs. Lively facing Vinny Pasquantino. You hang it, we bang it. 3-run homer, and KC takes a 3-0 lead just like that. First KC home run of the season. Top 6, Guardians down 3-2. 1 on for Kyle Manzardo. First pitch swing in. Into the fountain. 2-run homer. Cleveland in front 4-3 on their first home of the season after Emmanuel Clase gave up the game-tying sac fly in the 9th. Mark Canha with a chance to walk it off. It's one of the best closers in baseball. Pump it in at 100. We head to extras. Top 10, Guardians up 5-4. 2 on, 2 outs for Manzardo. Rips one into right. That plate's a pair, and the Guardians win it 7-4 in 10 innings. And Paul Sewald earns the save with his new ball club as Cleveland wins on opening day.